I still remember the smell of charcoal and summer air like it was yesterday. The sun was shining bright over our family backyard, laughter echoing between the trees, burgers sizzling on the grill. It should have been one of those perfect days you look forward to all year. But for me, that BBQ became the day my own sister shattered everything I thought I knew about family. My name is Elena, and for as long as I can remember, my older sister Tara has always been the star of the show. Beautiful, confident, the one everyone adored. She married Blake 3 years ago, a quiet, strong Navy SEAL who rarely spoke about his deployments. Blake was the kind of man who commanded respect without even trying. Tall, steady eyes, always watching. Tara loved reminding everyone how lucky she was to have a real hero in the family. Me? I was the quiet one, the safe sister with the boring office job. At least, that's what Tara told everyone. I smiled through it, year after year. I laughed at her little digs because that's what younger sisters do, right? We keep the peace. We swallow the hurt so the family can stay smiling in the photos. That afternoon, the whole family was gathered. Aunts, uncles, cousins, even our parents beaming with pride at their perfect daughters. I had just arrived, still in my casual jeans and simple top, carrying a salad I spent the morning preparing. Tara spotted me immediately. She was holding court by the picnic table, drink in hand, her voice carrying across the yard. "Oh, look, everyone, Elena's here. Still rocking the desk job chic, I see. Tell me, sis, how many spreadsheets did you conquer this week while the rest of us were actually living?" The laughter rippled through the group. My cheeks burned. I forced a small smile and set the bowl down, pretending it didn't sting. But Tara wasn't done. She turned to her friends and cousins, raising her voice just enough for everyone to hear. Seriously, though, Elena's always been the responsible one, while I was out building a real life with a man who actually risks everything. She's been, what's the word, comfortable, safe behind her computer screen. No offense, sis, someone has to answer the emails, right? More laughter. My dad chuckled awkwardly. Mom looked away. I felt small, invisible, like the punchline I'd always been in her eyes. I wanted to disappear into the grass. Instead, I just nodded and mumbled something about helping with the drinks. Inside, something deep inside me cracked. How many times had I protected her secrets, covered for her mistakes, celebrated her wins while quietly mourning my own? But what I didn't know that day was that everything was about to change with one single word. I tried to shake it off. I always did. I moved to the edge of the yard, helping with plates and smiling at the kids running around. But the comments kept coming whenever Tara passed by. Elena doesn't do danger, she does deadlines. Can you imagine her in the field? She'd probably bring a planner. Each word felt like a tiny knife. I had spent years building a life I was proud of, but I never talked about it. Not to them, not to Tara. Some things were too precious to share with someone who only knew how to tear down. My chest felt tight. Tears pricked at the corners of my eyes, but I blinked them back hard. Why did her approval still matter so much? Why did her mockery still have the power to make me feel like that insecure little girl again? As the afternoon wore on, the music got louder and the drinks flowed freer. I stepped away for a moment to catch my breath near the fence line. That's when Blake walked over. He had been quiet most of the day, as usual, observing everything with those calm, intense eyes. He handed me a fresh soda without a word. "You okay?" he asked softly. I nodded too quickly. "Yeah, just family stuff." He didn't push, but something in his gaze made me feel seen for the first time that day. Later, the conversation turned to old family stories in military life. Someone asked Blake about his latest training rotation. He gave a short, humble answer. Tara jumped in immediately, glowing with pride. "My husband is out there doing things most people couldn't even dream of. Real courage, real sacrifice. Not everyone's built for that kind of life." Her eyes flicked to me.
The implication was clear. I wasn't. That was the moment something shifted inside me. The pain turned into a quiet fire. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to run. Not this time. I took a slow breath and spoke up, calmly, but loud enough for the circle around the grill to hear. You know, Tara, not all service looks the same. Some of us fight in ways people don't see on the news. She laughed lightly, waving her hand. Oh, please, Elena. We all know your idea of a battlefield is a conference call. Don't try to compare. The group chuckled again, but Blake's head tilted slightly. His expression changed, just a fraction. I felt the words rising before I could stop them. My voice stayed steady, even though my heart was pounding. Actually, my call sign was Shadow. Used it for 6 years before I transitioned to intelligence support. We ran quite a few joint ops together. Maybe you remember the briefings from the Pacific Theater a couple years back. The backyard went strangely quiet. Tara blinked, still smiling like she was waiting for the punchline. What are you even talking about? But Blake? Blake froze. His eyes locked on mine with sudden recognition. The calm, sealed demeanor cracked for just a second as realization hit him hard. Shadow? He repeated, his voice low but sharp. Elena? Your shadow? I nodded once. No drama, no bragging. Just the truth I had carried silently for years. The air felt thick. My sister's face shifted from amusement to confusion and then to something colder. She tried to laugh it off. Come on, she's obviously joking. Elena in special operations? That's adorable. But Blake wasn't laughing. His jaw tightened. He looked at his wife with an expression I had never seen him before. Disappointment mixed with quiet authority. Blake took one step closer to Tara. His voice was calm, controlled, and carried the weight of every mission he had ever run. Apologize now. The words cut through the backyard like a blade. Everyone stopped. The music seemed to fade into the background. Tara's smile faltered completely. What? She whispered, her cheeks flushing. You heard me, Blake said evenly. You've spent this entire afternoon tearing your sister down in front of the whole family, but the woman you're mocking, she's the reason some of my brothers made it home. Shadow wasn't a desk job. She ran point on intel that saved lives, including mine on more than one occasion, and you've been humiliating her like she's nothing. Tara opened her mouth, but no words came out first. Her eyes darted around at the stunned faces of our family. The laughter from earlier had completely vanished. In its place was uncomfortable silence and the slow dawning that she had just exposed herself. I didn't know, she finally stammered. Exactly. You never asked. You never listened. You just assumed, and you enjoyed making her feel small. I stood there, heart racing, but for the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I felt seen. The weight I had carried alone, the secrets, the sacrifices, the quiet strength, was finally in the light. Tara turned to me, her voice shaky. Elena, I'm sorry, I didn't mean... But the damage was done. Not in a loud, explosive way, in a quiet, irreversible one. The family saw her clearly now. The mask had slipped, and Blake's simple command, apologize now, had shifted the entire dynamic in seconds. That evening, as the sun went down, the barbecue felt different. Conversations were softer. People came up to me with genuine questions instead of polite pity. Tara stayed quiet for the rest of the night. Her usual sparkle dimmed. Blake stood beside me like a silent guardian, not out of pity, but out of respect. In the weeks that followed, things changed in small but meaningful ways. Tara reached out with a real apology, one without excuses. She started asking about my life instead of tearing it down. Our parents saw both of us differently, and I finally stopped hiding who I was. Looking back, that humiliating afternoon at the barbecue wasn't the end of me. It was the beginning of something better, because the deepest wounds often come from the people closest to us. But real strength isn't loud. It doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it waits quietly in the shadows until the right moment reveals the truth. If someone in your life keeps trying to dim your light, especially family, remember this. Your story, your sacrifices, your worth, they don't need everyone's applause to be real. Sometimes the loudest voices are just afraid of the quiet power standing right beside them. I forgave my sister, not because she deserved it immediately, but because carrying resentment would have only kept me small. I chose peace. I chose truth. And in doing so, I finally stepped fully into the light I had earned long ago. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been underestimated by the people who should have lifted you up, know that you are stronger than they'll ever understand. Your